How's it going? Been a while. Welcome back to Movie Crack. Roll it, boys. The Black Phone 2, directed by Scott Derrickson. Isn't any good. Starting off with the story and pacing. Mixed bag for me here. So this one follows Vinny and Gwen like the first movie did, and they're both very likable as always. They were likable in the first movie, they're likable in this movie. This one, however, does focus a lot more on Gwen rather than Vinny. A few years have gone by since the grabber incident from the first movie. Both of our main characters are still kind of a bit messed up in the head from everything that happened and getting on with life. Gwen then starts to have some funky dreams where she's seen visions of kids who might be in some form of danger. And these kids seem to be located at a place in the mountains called Alpine Camp. So our main characters decide to head up there some point in the movie to investigate further, and shit goes down from there. Starting off with the pros for me in the story, the performances were pretty good all around. The grabber is very good in the movie. Gwen and Vinny are very good in the movie, and there's also a third character. To be honest, I don't even remember his name. That'll tell you how much of an impact he had on the story. So yes, they're up in this camp in the middle of the mountains, and it is snowy, and it's a very, very nice setting for a horror movie. I have a soft spot for movies set in the snow. And as they're here, the grabber, he's starting to terrorize people again, but not in the form that you would think. Yes, Gwen is having visions of him, but in her dreams. From that point, then you have kind of a Freddy Krueger twist on things. The grabber, he's terrorizing people in their sleep, pretty much. I gotta say, story wise, I loved some of it and I didn't like other parts of it. The Black Phone 2 takes a real big dive into the supernatural side of this franchise. The thing about the first movie was there was supernatural elements, but they were kind of a background theme, you know? It was a very down-to-earth, simple movie. The biggest issue I have with this one is it decides to dive too much into the supernatural side of things, and it just gets so silly, really. It's just silly looking, even. And I can't really say much more than that without giving spoilers away. But for example, these dream sequences, the movie leads you to believe in the first half of it that it's only the person in the dream that can be affected by the events in the dream. But as the movie goes on, it kind of decides to maybe we won't go so much that direction, and maybe everybody's in danger, even though everybody's not in the dream. It's very confusing, and it drove me nuts in the movie. So that's the big problem I have with story. A positive about the story, though, is we get to learn a bit more about the grabber. We get a bit of a background look at him, and a bit of a background look at the main character's parents and things like that as well. And these aspects of the movie I actually did enjoy. I liked that they went a bit more in depth about who the grabber was and things like that. But this movie is so convoluted. There's way too many characters. There does not need to be so many characters. Also, there's like 5 different ideas going on here, and they don't always mix together very well, in my opinion. The pacing, on the other hand, is absolutely shocking in this movie. This movie is an hour and 50 minutes long, or an hour and 55 minutes. My God, do you feel it? It is a damn long movie, and you feel that length. This movie could have easily been a half an hour shorter, and you could have told the same story. And if you're coming to this movie expecting to see the grabber a lot, you kind of do in this second hour, but that's the problem. You do not see the grabber, at least dialogue heavy wise, until about an hour into this movie, and it fucking drags. Don't get me wrong, you see hints of the grabber in the first act and the second act, but you don't get no dialogue satisfaction or anything like that until an hour into the movie, which is crazy. I will say, in these sequences, it's very good. So yes, story and pacing for me, very, very weak. A lot weaker than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to go 2.5 out of 5. Moving on to the visuals and direction. This movie is very well directed. It's very visually nice on the eyes, and I really, really like the way that they portray the dream sequences. So when a character is in a dream and in real life, they do this thing with the movie where they switch from like regular film to like almost like a vintage film style. I really, really like that. It kind of remind me of Sinister a little bit, with the old videotapes. It was really cool. Also, it's set in a camp in the snow up in the mountains, and I'm a real fucker for horror movies that are set in the snow in the winter. The action was well directed as well. There is a bit of gore in the movie that was well directed as well. So overall, the visuals were very nice in this movie. Creative direction wise, I didn't love where they went with the story. I gotta be honest, it was not my favorite thing about the movie, but it's not bad. It's not great in my opinion, but it's not bad either. Visuals and creative direction, I'm gonna go 3.5 out of 5. Lastly, sound and music. Starting off with the sound. So the sound effects are very, very good in this movie, I will admit. There are some really, really nice sound effects. The sound effects when it comes to the gore, sound effects when it comes to like the eerie kind of setting that we're in with all the snowstorms and things like that. Very, very cool. The music was actually good in the movie too. They did like an eerie kind of a remix of "Brick in the Wall" by Pink Floyd, and it was really, really nicely done in the middle of the movie here. So really enjoyed that. Sound and score, I'm gonna go 3 out of 5. So there you have it, folks. Final score for the Black Phone 2, 3 out of 5. I liked the first one better. I thought the first one kept it simple, it kept it more down to earth, and I think it makes the difference in this franchise when you keep it more simple. This movie did not keep it simple. It went very heavy with the supernatural side of things, and it also had the worst fucking pacing I've seen in a new movie in a while. That being said, I apologize for being away for so long. I was at home visiting family the last 2 weeks, and so the videos kind of took a backseat for me for a minute. But I'm back, baby. That being said, more reviews coming very, very soon. That's all I got for today. See you in the next one. Hopefully, it's a good one. Good luck.